friends and enemies, welcome back to another build video. So we are building, or rather we're continuing to build the scene that we had seen last time. If you haven't checked it out, go back and check out our last video on builds, and you'll see how we got to here. But what we have here is a Capes and Menaces scene that is being built in my lair, and it is depicting a raid on a factory by the LOCUSTs unit. These are the LCST units that are swarm-based microbots and will flood an area and take basically hostages. It'll swarm through, take a bunch of civilians and trap them in these armor suits and use them as kind of a skeletal base by which to actually do their work. Not a lot is known about what the LOCUST plans are or why they do what they do. Every time they hit, it's always a different location, a different type of area, different types of technology, different options that they can use. So you can see here, things have escalated quite quickly. We have Desert Arrow getting squeezed by one of them. We got Mercury getting ripped in half by two of them. Not a great position to be stuck in. There you see another angle on the same thing. He's going to get himself pulled in half if he's not careful. And flung. You have Warden, who is a little overwhelmed at the moment. She has her hands full. She's defending herself from three of these alpha-style LOCUST units who come in, and these are the most typical style LOCUST unit. One person, one mech. Here we have Shifty and Doc continuing their fight. Doc is doing better than he was. Shifty is about to have her leg grabbed out from under her, as it were. So now we gotta start building the next section. So as we go... So what we have here is a large swath of the swarm has come in, and they are currently raiding this warehouse for all kinds of stuff. The APF has been called in. All the warehouse workers have clearly been recruited into the LOCUST units, and we have several different sizes. We have all four sizes, which isn't a great situation to be found in. You'll have to pardon my bad haircut, bad head, and I didn't realize it until I was editing it. And now here we stand, so what are you going to do? Anyway, so you have all four different sizes. You have the Alpha, which are the most human looking of them. You have the Gamma, which are the bigger boys. You have the Kappa, which are the buggier looking ones with the spindly arms that come out of the sides. And you have the Omegas, which are the big boys. So right now, let's see here, I'm working on getting Warden into position because I've had to remove her from her glider. We're going to have, as part of the story, Warden be removed from her glider as a tactic to try and deal with all of the LOCUSTs that she's being surrounded by. And she can remote pilot the glider and have that basically take some of the heat off of her while she turns her attention towards focusing on one individual of the LOCUSTs, which is a good strategy to take, because Lord knows they can overwhelm pretty quickly. Getting the glider to balance is always a fun trick. So we see here that Tech has moved on from helping Doc in his situation. Tech is now coming and helping out with what she has going on. So I have an Omega over here, and the Omega is taking on a character known as the Night Runner, also known as the Highwayman. He is a mythical creature-esque being who merges with another to carry out judgments. So he's here to try and help, but he's also a little overpowered at the moment by an Omega-style LOCUST unit, which is going to be quite a thing to have to take on alone. We see that Doc and Shifty's situations have kind of flipped, where Doc seemed like he was getting the upper hand. Now he's getting into trouble, and Shifty, meanwhile, has helped herself out of a situation. So here you can see the glider coming in for a crash into the factory. You see the melt of mercury hitting the pavement, but that's not going to stop him for very long. There you see one of the alpha mechs, alpha locusts, getting pulled away. Meanwhile, another one takes on Warden, who is coming in guns blazing. She's ready to go. She's not going to take no guff from nobody, even if it's, 25 feet in the air, against a robotic bug. The Night Runner is doing a pretty okay job. He's cut off one of the antenna, but we'll see if that helps. Meanwhile, Doc has very much got his hands full on his own. Shifty might be able to help him soon, but she has to take care of her own bug first. You see over there is the nurse mech, who might be able to help out with a few things here. So here we go into phase 3. Take down some of the pieces and move them around, obviously. So the glider's going up. That plan to crash into the warehouse has clearly been foiled in one capacity or another. Trying to figure out a place for Perky to go where he can be useful and tell part of the story. Now, Warden, being the competent APF officer that she is, has managed to wrestle this locust in the air up against the building. So she's doing pretty good for herself. Doc is really currently having a great time. You can see here Tech is still coming in to help. His guns are going to be of use. Nurse, meanwhile, is going to have to give some assistance here. Yeah, and as you can see, the Omega Mech has overpowered the Night Runner and put him through a window. Meanwhile, Shifty is getting the upper hand. She's getting around back on the back of this Locust unit. She's going to glide it on down. Doc, meanwhile, his situation is only going to get more dire here in a second, as the Gamma unit that he had blasted in the face comes back with a vengeance. And he's already having trouble with an Alpha unit, so 2-on-1, that's not going to go very well for him. Mercury, meanwhile, over there has gotten himself turned over back around. Here we see the Night Runner being put through the window. Not a great look for him, but he'll bounce back. Warden, on the other hand, doing very well for herself, even without her glider. That glider still taking that Alpha unit for a ride. Here we see Mercury holding his own in a situation much more dire than just about anybody else here against an Omega unit, while Desert Arrow has turned the tide on his Locust as well and has him pinned down. So we have one side that's going well and seems to be holding their own, and another side where things are going a little against the grain. So Doc really could use a second set of hands. We'll see how that turns out for him next time, but thank you for watching. This has been NerdPod Generations Build a Scene, and I'm Alfred Jutstum, and we'll see you next time, friends and enemies. Bye-bye.